So how you guys doing today? I had a funny episode happen and I was trying to figure it out. It wasn't the actual episode, but more about the intent. A classmate, my classmates are starting to figure out from my former classmates, that I'm a reverend and all this. And one of them jokingly went off and said, "Hey, I'll just pull up one of your YouTube videos." And I went, "Go ahead." Of course, he didn't follow through. I find it funny because I'm doing this in public. I'm actually a registered church, or I'm not, but I registered a church, and I'm doing, I have these set goals that I'm trying to strive for. And so I find it funny how people are trying to do one uppance over you, like, "I'll show the world." Well, I already show the world. I got like 20,000 people worldwide looking. What do you want to show more? Go ahead. So it's kind of funny. But when you live by your own principles, you do, and you stand by them, it's really hard to do anything about it. In other words, when you stand by what you believe in, there's very little sway for a person to sway you. I think it's kind of funny. So it was kind of, everything was done in jest. I just thought it was funny how someone wants to try to not blackmail you but intimidate you, or they're going to expose you. I've had people try to expose me for all kinds of shit. Things that they fabricated, and I demand proof, and they never could. And half the time I wasn't even in the country when they were accusing me of it. So it was kind of like, oh, okay, whatever. I was in Europe. So when you have people out there who feel as though they can blackmail you in any way, shape, or form, or intimidate you by that way, I always say two words: show me. And in my particular case with my video channels, I say do it. It's a public channel. I'm here talking to you guys. Actually, I'm talking to a camera that eventually you guys will be watching my video. And if you stand by your own principles, what's there to hide? I don't hide behind anything else. I don't hide behind a particular religion. I don't make excuse for my actions. I'm doing what I do. I might have a different message. I may have a different principle. But bottom line is, I'm still doing what I'm doing. So I thought it was kind of funny. It was an action of a young man. I'll show the class. All right, go ahead, show. Go ahead. Fuck, hell, I'll pass up popcorn. And that was the funnier part. He didn't follow through his principles. He didn't follow through his statement. He actually just didn't do it. And that's what kind of made me think about it. It's a minute situation. But when people who aren't sure of themselves will not follow through with their actions, the people who are not sure of themselves would not do the things they say they'll do. Sometimes it's worth not saying a damn thing and just do it. And that's the funnier part. I get people who talk softly underneath their breath, whether they're going to argue with you or literally talk behind your back. I had that happen recently. I thought that was bizarre. Someone was actually mumbling out loud behind my back to argue with me in a room full of 40 other men, and I'm thinking to myself, where's your fucking nutsack? If you got something to say, say it. But apparently I'm the only one who has a strong enough intestinal fortitude to actually just say what's on my mind. A lot of people are afraid to speak these days, and it blows my mind. If you know who you are, and you know what you are, and you stand by your principles, you should not be afraid of talking or saying what you feel. And if someone around you's got a problem with it, guess what? It's their fucking problem, because they're the ones who aren't doing what they should be saying or doing. In essence, they're envying you for doing what they wish they could. Just the way I see it. And it's also, you have to stand up for yourself. You have to stand up for others when the time is right. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. or they go off and not know how to do it correctly. You know, and that comes with time and practice. So the later in life when you speak up for yourself or for something else, well, what kind of voice are you going to have? What kind of experience will you have in debate? Chances are very little. You know, and fortunately for me, with my paradigm, my personal one, debate is part of the curriculum. You know, you go into a verbal warfare, you stand up for what you believe in, and you back your shit up when you speak. And that's how it was. That's how it is. It's like how you hone your skills. And what good is your skills if you don't use them in the real world? So in essence, when I'm in my school, for instance, and I speak my mind, it takes a lot of people off. They don't know what to do with me. I was probably one of the only 1 or 2 people who didn't pay a reoccurring bill because I never took, I was never, you have goods and services. My particular program I'm in, they drug test you. Well, I never was drug tested last year. So I didn't pay for it again because I told them it's goods and services you offered and goods and services I didn't receive. But because I brought it up, I didn't pay for it. My rest of the class that came back, they did, because they didn't speak their mind. They didn't speak their, you know, they didn't even think about it. They were complacent. This shows the mindset of me compared to my collective other 14 reoccurring students. So for me, I have no problem standing my ground. Physically, metaphysically, you name it. I am the quintessential, trying to be quintessential, grounded person. You know, the better to know things around you is to start off with yourself. And a lot of people don't do that. And you'd be surprised how old they are and they still fucking up. So for me, I have no problem expressing who and what I am and how I do things. And then I find it even more funny, and by comparison, literal comparison, the people around me, how they feel. At worst, they feel themselves. Good example. You know, I'm not going to pay another $50 for something I just didn't get from the semester before, right? But a lot of those guys did. And the funnier part was, even when I brought it up to their attention, they still didn't go over and ask for their money back. Yeah. See, complacency of the world. It's amazing. You don't stand up for yourself, you don't stand for what you believe in, you don't have your principles, you don't back your shit up, people will walk the fuck over you. That's why people are afraid of me. Because I stand by my principles. I have no problems standing up for what I believe in. And I can back my shit up when I do. A good example coming back soon. Might even do a rally. Yeah. People who were coming back to my school were being taught shit. We weren't taught a goddamn thing last year. Literally. We're supposed to have so many hours of classroom time. We had a classroom time for our safety class, which was mandatory. We had a 4-hour dissertation, had nothing to do with the chapter that we were reading. And that was it. From a person who's supposed to teach our class. Now people ask me, well, why didn't you bring this up sooner? I was a first-year student. Did not know what the fuck the teachers were not supposed to do. The new teachers dropped the bag on that one by telling us, well, what do you know? I don't know a goddamn thing. What do you mean you don't know? And you look at the sheet, how many tests I've done. I'm supposed to have 19 written tests to be done by the school year. I only got 3. Is it my fault? I'm a student. A teacher teaches. You can play victim to a point. Because when you ultimately sit there and say, well, this guy's not doing his job, this is also the same guy who's grading your papers. So how do you sit there and tell the person who can fail you out of your own course, you're fucking up? You don't. You wait until he gets the fuck out, then you find all the documentation and affidavits, and you say, hey, this guy didn't do his job, time for me to get a new semester for free. Or a free night course so I can make my shit up. Whatever the case may be. because this is how, this is how I think. What do other people do? They bitch among each other. They'll talk to me, they'll talk to each other. Oh gosh, oh gosh. I'm a man with a plan. I'm the man who's going to get a law firm if I don't get a goddamn semester for free next year. How's that for fucking apples? It might be just me, but a subpoena can get a lot of affidavits. You see what I'm saying? So, when it comes right down to a person, their beliefs, their intestinal fortitude, and when you get challenged by a person who doesn't, it's amusing. I like my friend, my classmate who did that, by the way. It was kind of funny because he was like, I'll do it. Go right fuck ahead. But if you see what goes on with me in my surroundings, it's almost like I have no problem pushing through. They just follow. And if they don't agree with me, they don't have to, deal with me or agree with me at all. But I've yet to have anyone counteract me. I have yet to have anyone be my equal in saying, no, Ron, you're fucked up, sit the fuck down. You don't have that. And if they did, you don't hear them because they don't stand up, speak their mind. They don't stand up to stand on their own principles. They don't stand up to be their own man. And that's what I find funny among a classroom of over 50 men. So that's why, I might be the loudmouth, I might be the outspoken one. But when it comes to calling out the bullshit, calling out the stuff I see, especially with my administration, it's amazing that I might have backing, but I'm one voice. But what's more amazing is the complacency of acceptance of such bullshit that goes on. So when I deal with things like that, you have to be strong enough to stand alone. There's your intestinal fortitude, and that's a person who stands by what they believe. And when other people of faith even want to challenge me, can't even surmount to that. So it is kind of amazing in a way, how the world around you is in reality when you put your own paradigm into practice. And it's not that fucking hard to make. In fact, sometimes some people make it real easy. So anyway, I just thought it was kind of funny. Sticking by your principles, doing what you do, and when people want to challenge you, they do it with as much muster as someone flinging jello instead of a rock. It's just soft. And so out of my story, my question to you is, what do you do, not necessarily to stand out, but how do you stand through your own principles? How do you stand strong, if not in a group, but by yourself? And if you are allowing complacency rule you, or you let yourself be complacent, or do you call out the bullshit and seek out your own personal justice? These are things that I do out of example, and I'm just curious how many other people have. And you'd be surprised how many don't. It's kind of amazing. I bring up school because it's becoming an issue. And initially I was reliant on one person to help me out with my situation with the lack of education from the school year before, to now this total over I call it overstimulation. I mean, you get this one teacher who's just bombarding you with information, which is great, but in the same regards, you're not used to that shit. I mean, you have to carry a tape recorder around with you or notepad with you all the time. So you went from total zero to total engulfment, And you do remember a lot of this stuff, but now it's kind of like you're looking back too, and you're thinking, "Fuck." And it's kind of hard. I try not to relive the past, but if someone took $2,500 out of your account, and then you're spending another $2,500 to finish, and you have to do twice as much work, would you be kind of pissed off too? So this is where I come with it. I don't know if I'm going to keep it on my private channel or what, but I just wanted to bring that up because I did find it a bit funny. And yeah, I like I said, but this is a multiple. Of course, any of my videos or anything I talk about is multifaceted. It isn't just about school. It's about how you stand up for yourself. It's how you can be alone, or how you can be in a pack, or how you can be in a group. In the intestinal fortitude of yourself among the people around you or your peers. And you'd be surprised how many people will fail themselves in that process. So anyways, I wish you all the best. I'll catch you later. Bye for now.